that turn just never ends. Yeah, I mean, that's one of those things where you always try to draw your cards first just to see what options you get, but it's easy to make the attacks and then think like, okay, I'll evaluate how much health he has to judge my damage and then see what I want to do.
So we're going to see the Shadow Flame on the Reno Jackson, which I think is necessary.
Warlock does have 10 burst damage. It's not like unwinnable.
But now, so missing that 2 damage from the Abusive Sergeant
It's huge, yeah.
That's big.
Because he also didn't cast spells with Spell Power Totem. He could re-roll the Spell Power if he was really lucky. Ooh, Crackle. All right, time for the Shaman.
He's got a 50-50 chance, unless he rolls a Spell Totem.
This is such a Shaman moment right here. Right, you roll the Totem.
And it's all because that Abusive Sergeant wasn't played, and he attacked before drawing.
The one thing is, like, he wouldn't actually die here. So even if he fails the Crackle this turn, he could top deck damage. What? He didn't cast it. Did he not have enough mana?
I think is this game?
No.
This is game over.
Oh,
Leroy plus Power
Argus?
plus Soulfire. That's 14
damage.
damage plus the Lotheb. That's game over.
Oh, cool. Well, why didn't
Demigod didn't even give himself a chance here.
Why not try it? I guess he was worried about the Jiraxis next turn if he failed. But that's like pretty good odds for a Shaman. I mean, 50-50 is good Hearthstone odds in general, in my opinion. I'll take that win any day.
So there we have it. Talon takes game number 3 to bring the series up 2-1 over Demigod. I don't know. It's hard to know if Demigod misplayed, because obviously he cannot see his opponent's hand like we can.
But not attacking. Yeah, he was definitely concerned about the Jiraxis, but I have to feel like you go for it there. Like, the opponent needs to get lucky and survive first, so you already have a 50-50 to win. And then even if you fail that 50-50, you don't lose the game. You just don't necessarily kill them that turn. And you need to have their other only out card. But yeah, obviously a misplay with not using the Abusive, that would have guaranteed lethal on the next turn, so...
It would have. So that was a misplay by... That's one thing that anyone watching who isn't that experienced in Hearthstone should kind of learn early and learn well. If you are going to draw during a turn, you should always do it first, because they could change how you go about going about conducting that turn, the order of stuff, the placement, actually even which cards you decide to use.
Yep, definitely. I mean, it is... Some of those turns get complicated with the math, right? So it's easy to think, like, I'll make the math easier by attacking first, but you have to take that challenge and make sure you're doing it in the correct order or you miss 2 damage.
Exactly. That's that's actually one of the reasons that Hearthstone is more of a difficult game than people realize. It's the ordering of everything does matter, even though the math is only small numbers added together. When you have to do a lot of that in a little amount of time, calculate odds, think ahead, it really adds up and really kind of makes into a difficult situation.
So, looking at this match, it is the Murloc Paladin, and I wasn't sure that it was going to be that because he had Tempo Mage, but he chooses the control style of Paladin. I would say in this matchup, the Hunter is probably a little favored, although the Paladin does have a lot of healing mechanics, which is their strong suit.
Now, I agree with you, but there is one thing you have to realize. He drew both of his traps, and Freezing Trap is not a good trap against Murloc Paladin in general.
That's true. Ooh, the Pyromancer.
That's
big draw. He can clear the board if he wants. It would kill his Pyro, and it would take the Humility. He could just do Pyro and Coin, and then play a Hero Power, which leaves him with a 3-1 and a 1-1 against 2 1-1s, which is pretty solid. And then, even if the board got out of control, he has a Consecrate for next turn.
Yeah, it's a hard choice. So he does have a few options, like you said. He has the Pyro play, where he can actually use Coin and then decide whether or not he wants to use Humility or Hero Power.
I suppose he doesn't even have to Coin.
Just play his Murloc down here and kind of contest the board a little bit, setting up for a Consecrate play next turn.
Yep. Yeah, there are a lot of options. This is probably the biggest decision the Paladin's going to get to make. Most of the time, these choices lie in the aggro deck's hands. That's pretty interesting. I don't see the advantage of that over playing the Pyro.
Yeah, this actually sets up the same, just using Pyro and Hero Power.
Except you have nothing on the board now, so there's 2 1-1s of advantage, and you use the Coin, which makes the Pyro harder to use later. Can't say I'm a big fan of that Consecrate. Possible he wants to like play a True Silver Champion here.
Now that antique healbot's actually a really big draw. Obviously, he is getting low on health pretty early against his Face Hunter, so he does have to start worrying about. So, and also because he saw the Leper Gnome, I imagine that he's thinking this is Freezing Trap. I would not be surprised if he goes face with this, only to realize that it's actually.
You mean?
I mean, not Freezing Trap.
Explosive. Yeah.
He thinks that is explosive.
I would agree. That looks like Explosive Trap at this point. It's been the Worgen Infiltrators type of Face Hunter, which normally plays just 2 Explosive Traps because they add to the face damage. When he finds out that it's freezing, he's going to be really happy because it's probably the heal bot that got frozen.
That's definitely a good one to get frozen or get sent back to your hand, allowed you to play it again. Even though it is 7 mana, it's still another 8 health heal.
So it really feels like that Pyro is just useless now. You could play the Pyro Humility still, I guess. Just kind of sad that we didn't see the Pyro play earlier. It feels like it was really effective.
I agree. There was a few options of how you could go about it too, both of which I actually do think might have been a little bit better than the Consecrate play.
So in this case, I guess the Hunter will quick shot the heal bot, and that'll tell the Paladin exactly what trap it is. Because you can't afford to let that get frozen.
Unless you let it get frozen and try to kill the Paladin before turn... before their turn 7, where they can play it again.
It'd be really hard. I mean, he's not even doing 8 damage a turn or anywhere close to that.
So Demigod here is a very difficult choice. I mean, by using the quick shot, all you can do after that is just use hero power. I'm a little bit surprised that he could have even used just Unleash the Hounds to get the 1 Hound out and just continue pushing face because he knows this Murloc Paladin is not going to be really sending out many minions to get value off that card.
Yeah, you're very right. The Murloc Paladin is not going to play more than like 2 creatures at a time unless they're about to kill you. This match is actually match point for Talon as well. And I feel like this was a harder match for him, but it's looking about as good as you could hope for in this style of fight. He already
double
healed.
War Leaders. Wow. So 6 mana for 2 5/4s.
Pretty good.
It's not bad value. It's Trump when you need him. He'd be ecstatic.
So I guess you boom. You're definitely going to boom if he unleashes now, because
I don't think I've ever seen Dr. Boom in a Murloc Paladin deck.
Yeah, that's true, actually. I haven't either. That's a very good point. Normally the Murloc Paladins cap out at about 5 mana, and then they have some spells that are more expensive, like Lay on Hands and the Anyfin.
So I think this Lay on Hands will actually be what seals it for the Murloc Paladin and gives him the game. I think Demigod now is going to really try to rely on a Leroy Unleash combo, where you get the 2 extra Hounds because of the Whelps spawned by Leroy Jenkins.
Yeah, that looks pretty good. It also, the Lay on Hands is really likely to draw him into another heal, which would just be icing on the cake at that point. True Silver here, I guess just to heal more, showing the uselessness of Dr. Boom. You just need to heal as much as you can in this match. Okay, he's got to know it's freezing when the heal bot was quick-shotted. You could clear here with the Pyro Humility still, which I think I like.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good choice right now. It'll clear it off. Like I said, he's really not in that bad of a position in terms of his health, especially with the follow-up of Lay on Hands. Even though Hunters have a lot of face damage, they actually don't have that much burst compared to some of the other decks. They just slowly pick away at you each and every turn.
So I guess he goes for the Leroy Unleash. He's got to kill the Pyro, though. The Lay on Hands would just ruin it otherwise. This is a fair amount of damage coming in.
Do you think he kills off both the Murloc, the Pyro, and 1 Whelp?
To keep the Leroy? Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, exactly. Force Talon to have to...
Peacekeeper. It definitely seems like a Lay on Hands turn from the Hunter, so I imagine that is what you're thinking about. Like, okay, if the Paladin has Lay on Hands, which is worst case, what's my best choice here? You're not going to kill the 2 Whelps, though. More healing. Always good to see. So that actually makes the turn work really well. Now he can play Peacekeeper and Healbot if he wants to. Develops creatures on the board, which is a little better than Lay on Hands because he otherwise has nothing down.
Yeah,